What's going on, Paisanos? V here, coming at you with a deck profile. My buddy Zach made top
something, we don't know.
Stuff.
I want a table 19. We'll put it in the comments.
With a Pendulum Magician deck. Zach, how'd you feel today and what you play?
So I played Pendulum Endymion Guard Dragons, and Triff can fucking suck it because I don't watch his shit, and anybody that calls me Triff is catching hands. Triff Mo.
Jokingly. Okay.
Alright.
Let's see what you did there, guy.
So I played 60 cards because I was playing 40 and then I realized that I was just losing to hand traps. So I said, I'm just gonna add in 20 more ways to make Electromite, and it worked. So we play triple chronograph because he's an extender, he specials from hand, and he gets out wherever he went. Time Gazer Magician from the deck, so he starts making Electromite. 3 of the best Magician, 2 of the Magician that brings back the best Magician, double Summon from Grave, double Destroy Anti-Spell Fragrance, 1 Anti-Mystic Mine, and 1 Guard Dragon combo enabler that I never used. 9 rounds, never touched it.
Just not needed, huh?
Yeah, so that's the Magician engine. Then we've got 2 Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser because it's just another body that you can use to make Electromite before your normal summon. The MVP of the deck, because she searches any Pendulum monster. Anyone, any single one. I once used this girl to search a Lechery after I popped a scale, specialed Goliath with Chronograph. So I had Goliath, Chronograph, activate a Lechery and scale against Sky Striker player. They're under Domain and Imperial Order. Couldn't play a single card, just 1. So she searches anything. This girl is essentially my version of Called by the Grave because she summons herself and a negator, either Endymion or I see what you're doing up there, you're not gonna distract me. She summons either Endymion or Jackal King out of the deck and puts counters on him. And then here's the Big Daddy. I resolved his Pendulum effect once today. Beautiful. And I would have cleared my opponent's whole field, but he chained and blew up one of my cards that could hold counters. So then we've got 3 of this big boy who I absolutely hate, but he's another extender. You can summon him off of Servant. I don't know why you ever would, but you can. He's just really big and punches stuff really hard. He helps you make Electromite. This one, not as big, negate stuff. Oh, what, are you gonna put the hat on my head now? All right, come on, get on there, get on the camera. Thank
Leather
you.
hat.
Okay.
Actually, I was trying to get rid of the glare. There's like glare over here.
All right. So he's another one of your in-deck negates so that you can keep recycling him after.
So you made sure it's 3-2. Did this ever conflict throughout
Yeah.
the day or anything? Or?
No.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of times I'll just side this guy out because a lot of the extenders conflict with each other.
How'd you like Dragon Caller?
I'm replacing him because he's entirely unnecessary.
Real? Okay.
Entirely. He's probably going to become a 3rd Curtain Raiser or something as just 1 more extender.
Okay.
So this guy is really great if you can get him on board before you make Electromite because he stops hand traps. This is the best card in the whole deck because he enables the Guard Dragon combos. He's a +1 in almost every circumstance. And if you discard it off Pendulum Call, your opponent might as well just pick up their deck. They're done. Next game. I play Double Donut because it gives me 1 an easy side-out target going into games 2 and 3, but also in grind games, I can recycle him and even use Vortex to put it back to summon him for just continual +1, discard fodder scales. It's great to have more than 1 of him. And then I play sort of a big Amorphage package. And by that I mean I play 4 cards of Double Sloth, 1 Lechery, 1 Goliath. So Lechery doesn't turn on Domain unless you Pendulum summon him out. But Sloth and Goliath, if they're summoned out of the deck, both turn on Domain of the Monarchs. And then if Sloth is in scale, he becomes a Mistake while you control another Amorphage monster. This becomes Imperial Order, and this becomes Macrocosmos. So I decided to play this last night because I realized that a lot of the decks I struggle with, like Thunder Dinos or just any variant of Chaos Thunder and Orcust, can't play under Macrocosmo because they rely on their graveyard so much. So he's essentially like a 3rd version of Lancia or Abyss Dweller for me that just turns off the graveyard. And this against Sky Striker is just a wrap because they can't activate anything. And then these are the last 2 monsters in the deck. Aether is a target to summon off the Guard Dragon combo if I'm going 2nd. He banishes targets and banishes 1 monster on the field when he's normal or special summon. So you can just keep bouncing him out there to remove something and continue comboing with him. And then of course Destrudo, because you summon it and then you use it to make Dawn Dragster, and it's another negating body on the board. All right, and then here's where the deck really takes off. One foolish triple Dragon Shrine, because if you
Triple Dragon
triple,
Shrine.
if you get gate 0 in the grave, it's a +1. It puts a body on board, puts another body in your hand. Normal summon, that's Electromite.
Hold up, real quick. Why is there 2 supers in the combo?
Because I couldn't find the third super that I had, but I knew where the third common
So what are you
was.
targets? You got the Strudo, you got
Gate
Darkworm.
Destrudo and Darkworm are the only ones I ever send.
Okay.
I will occasionally use Foolish to send a Dark Spellcaster to recur back with Black Fang, but that's it.
Okay.
So, but using Destrudo and then sending him again to have him for next turn because you summon him in the Guard Dragon combo, and you do this to put spell counters on one of your negating monsters, it just gives you a guaranteed body even though you're at lower life points, but in games 1 and 2, that doesn't matter. Triple Allure of Darkness because there's like 30 dark monsters in the deck, and this generates spell counters. Not to mention the whole theory why I'm playing 60 cards is that it doesn't matter what monsters I see, as long as I see Gate 0 and Harmonizing, I can do a double negate bounce into Floodgate combo with Electromite. So this lets me see more scales and decide which ones I want to keep and which ones I don't need. And it generates spell counters, which makes my Endymion engine faster. Triple Desires because I'm playing 60 cards and I can just afford. I have activated all 3 Desires in a duel before, and it doesn't hurt because I got 60 freaking cards. Yeah, I had 7 cards at the end of it, but I desired 3 times. Who cares? Desires, play it. It's only good in certain decks. This is possibly the most powerful spell because if I open it and either Servant of Endymion or Magical Abductor, this one card makes it and any other scale either a search or a special summon. So this is essentially with either of those +2. This plus Abductor does the whole triple negate combo, even if I can't put any monsters on board before Pendulum Summon. And then double Pendulum Call because it's, I'm playing Pendulum Magicians. You need this, you use it to protect your scales and get stuff out. It's just very useful. Of course, triple Duelist Alliance, the Surge for Pendulum Call, and the last target for Pendulum Call is Time Pendulum Graph.
How's this card been today?
I have used it twice, and the response I got both times was, "Who plays that?" I won both of those matches.
Yeah. Alright, extra deck.
Alright, extra deck. So, extra deck, Electromite, everybody knows what it does. You have to play it, you're playing Pendulums.
One. I'm joking.
The Guard Dragon package. So you go Electromite, LP, then Electromite something else into this guy, summon. You just get all these guys out, summon Vortex, and then end on this plus another negate. So LP, Agripane, Erratic Spheres, Triple Burst. I didn't summon her once today, but she comes up a lot in... actually, I did summon her. She comes up a lot in recovery plays because she just takes any 2 monsters and then she gives me more summons out of the extra deck, lets me make another monster for a recursion play.
Why Herbal Wee Witch Apprentice?
Because Wee Witch Apprentice doesn't really give me anything, but I've used her, I've made her, and then I put a counter on Abyss Dweller and protected him, and Abyss Dweller my opponent 2 turns when they blind broke my board because I didn't know they were playing Grave Deck.
Okay.
Or I also have used this to protect Boral Savage Dragon, and having a 4200 that you have to punch twice to kill, that's a negator, is really hard to get out of, and guess what? It won. Saryuja, just because it's another monster that I can summon, it enables Guard Dragon plays really easily because it's got all of the arrows, and drawing 4 cards is pretty good, I heard.
It's okay.
Boral Sword Dragon, because Boral Sword Dragon's just game in almost every situation. You go Boral Sword and Boral Savage, and that's like 9,000 damage even through monsters. And then Abyss Dweller, very self-explanatory.
Yeah, very good card. Next card. So...
The reason why I went X2?
So explain this to me real quickly.
All right, so Gagaga Cowboy is a deck it's a monster from the archetype Gagaga used by Yuma in Arc V, and it burns your opponent for 800 or punches really hard if you summon an attack position.
Have you used this card today?
Yes, in my last round.
In time?
Yeah.
Did it win you in time?
Yeah.
And we saw what happened to Drip when he did it. How Firecracker is small.
Okay, we cannot talk anymore about this card because in fear of you getting banned, so continue.
All right, Norito, because everyone overlooks this card. He's 2,700, so he's really big. I play like 7 level 6s in my deck, and sometimes you just take 2 Jackals and put it together, because if you're playing at Sky Striker, a monster negate is nothing, but a spell negate can be everything. So you just play this boy and you just use him. F8 non-dragster, same reason. He's a negate. Who is calling me? I will check that later.
Negate that.
I negated that phone call. Borreload Savage Dragon. He's big. He negates. What else do you want? He negates everything.
Draw cards. What? No.
Bam.
He likes you?
Oh, yes. Just non-target remove. Just blow everything up. You shovel it back.
What? Now wait. Hold on a second. Do you really like this card? Did you really see much play from this card today? Basically,
I used him twice.
throughout the whole event.
Yeah.
Now, did you feel it was worth it, or could you want it to sound like a Borreload, Savage, whatever?
No, so I always make him first. I make him on turn 2.
Okay, so he's a later on game.
Yeah,
thing.
he cinches games because he's non-target removal, so you spin back that Dengrisu and their whole board is breakable now.
All right, what else? By the way, I just want to say thank you for the 10 minutes. I'm going to put ads on this video.
Just fine.
Continue.
Vortex, I mean, it bounces something back when you summon it. It's an Omni Negate. He's got a really big butt.
Alrighty, side deck time.
All right. I think this side deck is just about perfect, and you can't change my mind. Triple Denko Sekka, because we don't like back row.
Perfect.
Triple Lancia, because we don't like Thunder or Arcist.
Perfect.
Triple Lava Golem, because we don't like combo decks.
Disgusting.
Triple Twin Twister, because we don't like back row.
Perfect.
Triple Red Reboot, because we really don't like back row.
I heard you like back row a little bit, though. Okay,
A little bit.
so what would you change in your deck, main side or extra?
I am going to be dropping Dragon Caller for some other extender if I can put my finger on it. I'm never taking him out because these two cards...
Have you thought about adding another one to him in case you play against a
thought
Mystic
about
Mind build?
it. He is good against Mystic Mind, but I have like 13 ways to add either this or Time Pendulum Graph, so I'm not too worried about it. The Twin Twisters, there were a lot of times where I didn't like discarding, so I was like trying to think Typhoons.
You just said the side deck was perfect.
Yeah, no.
And now you're just saying about the side deck. What would you change to the side deck then?
I might change the Twin Twisters to some other form of back row removal, but that's just a
Okay,
maybe.
that's fine.
Yeah, so they
Like MSTs?
MST or possibly Typhoons.
Okay.
But I wouldn't change anything else in here. The only thing that might change is these could fluctuate back and forth between sphere modes, but
How many gates can you do per turn?
how many negates?
Yeah.
My best boards put up 4 negates plus
4
a bounce into it.
negates?
Yes. 4 negates. However, I can almost always
Now,
no matter-
realistic, how many negates can you put up at like an average today?
my average was 3 negates.
Okay.
But
Consistently?
Consistently.
Okay.
If the hand was the worst hands, if I could play at all, as long as I was allowed to play at all, I would probably put up 1 negate and the monster to bounce and
How do you
summon
feel about the bird?
Apex Avian?
Apex Avian.
Not needed.
Really?
No, I've played with it a lot because I've been playing Pendulum since back before Electromite
And what
came
about
out.
Star Pendulum Graph? How do you feel about that card?
I took it out because it was never the +1 I wanted to. It just recurred 1 resource and then sat on the field, and then it never, I never benefited from it on turn 2 or 3.
Draco Slayer monsters for Ignister.
What?
Draco Slayer monsters for your
I
Ignister.
have also thought about that, but that requires me to put more cards like LP into the extra deck, and then I have to take out Cowboy, and
You
that
do a
is
lot of thinking, Grasshopper.
that can't happen.
So those are your changes now. Any shout outs, any thanks?
I'd like to shout out my own channel, Team Blackjack. So just subscribe to us, Blackjack YGO. We do deck profiles and stuff. We're sponsored by the local store here, Heroes and Games. I want to shout out Blackjack, Heroes and Games, Team Scoop, and all of my idiot friends that came here with me. Sure, I'll give a shout out to Connor Snow, who's standing here next to me coughing at me.
Shout outs to this guy. I lost my calculator.
Nobody's looking at you, Connor. This is about him. Connor. I'm doing a deck profile, Connor. Stop doing side stories on my deck profile.
Shout out to Alex Modlack, my fellow SEMO clone. And shout out to Charles because he's waving at me. All right, we're done with the shout outs.
All right, Paisanos, V here. Thank you so much for watching this deck profile. I really appreciate it, Paisanos. You guys have a great day.